Hello everyone, and welcome to Classy Whale. It's been a little while since I've done one of these sit down at my desk and react to stuff kinds of videos, but today I thought we would look at some of WMATA's plans for what they're going to do next, now that the Silver Line to Dulles Airport is complete. One of their main focuses right now is what to do about the east-west tunnel that currently carries the blue, silver, and orange lines of the metro through downtown. Those are 3 different lines to all sorts of areas, and the tunnel is nearing capacity. So something has to be done. There are 5 current alternatives that are being thrown around, and one is the clear favorite. Most transit advocates seem to be favoring a particular alternative. But do I agree with them, or do I have some novel hot takes on this? I don't know. I haven't really looked at them. Let's take a look now. Here's number 1. Alternative 1 is just not to do anything. It's like, there's only so much funding, there's only so much time. Why not just keep the decent system that's already there? The problem is that's going to reduce the number of trains per hour that are going to be able to go through that tunnel, and by, 2030, 2040, there's going to be a lot more people living in the city of Washington. That's probably not good future-proofing, especially if they've already identified this as a pretty clear problem, which leads us to alternative number 2, which is kind of sus. This one basically just says, hey, let's remove the Silver Line from the downtown tunnel and just truncate it to West Falls Church. So that means the already very lengthy ride from downtown to Dulles now requires a transfer. Kind of disincentivizes people from taking a train to the airport. They could probably get a cab for, at this point, like half the time. And then also the Orange Line has some kind of little junction here so that it goes both to downtown Largo and New Carrollton. The Blue Line stops at Stadium Armory. I'm not entirely sure what the logic is for this. The explanation seems to be cut off in this PDF I'm looking at, but then the idea would be to have more BRT and more commuter buses to kind of supplement the flow of passengers. And I mean, maybe that would work, but the whole cool thing about the Washington Metro is that it's this high-capacity, futuristic transit system built fairly recently with good coverage and sort of a focus on the outer regions, but without neglecting downtown. So if we just kind of outsource a bunch of its job to commuter buses and BRT, those aren't going to do the job nearly as well. And it kind of defeats the purpose of having the Metro in the first place, almost. I mean, of course, there's still the existing network, but you're kind of undermining what it can do. Which brings us to alternative 3, which I like a lot better. The idea here is to have a blue line tunnel that kind of goes north of the city, or north of the downtown tunnel rather, into places like Georgetown and the West End. This is one of the biggest areas of DC that doesn't have metro service, and it has a lot of college students. Speaking as someone who lives in a college neighborhood that's been mostly neglected in terms of rapid transit, this is a good idea. The Metro then would go, or the Blue Line rather, would go down through Farragut North, past Mount Vernon Square, past Union Station and Union Market, go through this area of the city and into Maryland. I'm not really sure what's happening over here, but I'm sure people are going to let me know in the comments sort of what's going on in this part of DC and Maryland. Finally, it would interline with the Green Line. I don't know why they're making this 2 here. Are they implying they're going to build a new station, or are they just going to be on the same tracks? I'm not sure, but this is a good idea. Let's see what the next one is. Aha! So, alternative 4 is to have the Blue Line go on a loop, or the bloop, as I hope people will start calling this if they do indeed build it. Basically, it has the same section through Georgetown, but instead of going sort of up here to Greenbelt, it instead plunges south under the Capitol, and this area goes down into National Harbor and then back up through to Huntington. Then the Yellow Line takes over the Blue Line's route to Franconia Springfield. This one is the clear favorite among transit advocates. It's the one that's been shared the most and talked about the most, and honestly, I think it's pretty cool. There's been talk of having trains going to National Harbor for a while, and I've heard a lot more discourse about that than I've heard about sending more trains up to sort of this area of DC and Maryland. I don't know the area super duper well, and it would really depend on how much demand there's going to be for transit down here versus transit up here, and that would kind of sway my decision as to which of those two ideas would be best, this one or the last one. But let me know in the comments a bit more context of what's going on here. That would be really great. And then finally we have the Silver Line Express, which might actually be kind of a decent idea, at least in theory, because like I was saying, the one problem with the Silver Line is that Dulles is already really far from the city, and you don't really have an express train, like in Toronto or somewhere like that, to go straight out to the airport. You have to take the whole metro system, stopping at every stop. And I imagine if you're a business executive, you don't want to be stopping at every station in Arlington. You want to, get right to the airport, so you're probably going to take an Uber. But if you have a tunnel that kind of bypasses everything and just gives express service right to the airport, I think that could get more people on transit and get more people off of the highways. So I don't dislike this idea. I kind of wonder if one could combine this with the line to National Harbor, because like I said, I've heard more discourse about bringing Metro to National Harbor than I have about bringing Metro to this area. Please let me know what this area is called. I don't really know it that well. All I know is that the DC streetcar kind of goes there. So you could have the Silver Line starting from National Harbor, going up to Union Station, and that would be good because then you'd have direct trains from Union Station to the airport if someone wanted to make that kind of transfer miles. Interestingly, this station here isn't named, neither is this one. I don't know really what's going on with that. Any case, then we have the Express Silver Line still have service to Georgetown, which is cool, and then runs express through the Orange Line and then up to Dulles Airport. So, I mean, popular opinion dictates that the Bloop is probably going to be what they end up going for, if they go for anything at all. But maybe one could combine that somehow with Express Silver Line to Dulles. Because I think the faster the train to the airport, the more ridership you're going to have. But then again, if, Georgetown and National Harbor are going to put more demand on the system than business travelers or leisure travelers or whoever going to Dulles, then probably the Bloop is the ultimate option. Update, I didn't do my research. There is actually a sixth alternative, which is to have the Silver Line have its own separate tunnel and then go to New Carrollton. It's redundant and I don't like it. And that's about all the WMATA content I have for you guys. But one other thing, I am planning a UK series for the near future. This will feature the namesake cities of Northeast Corridor cities, as well as various interesting British transport. I'm currently eyeing stuff like the Glasgow Underground and the Blackpool Tramway Network. If you are interested in seeing this series become a reality, I have a fundraising page in the description below where you can join my Patreon. Thank you so much, and stay classy till the next one. Take care.